Hey everybody, my name is Natalie Duncan-Emmons. I wanted to thank you for listening to this episode of The Morning Show. I'm the creator, the producer, and the host of the show. We want you to check out our website. It's themorningshowwithnatalie.com. You can go to that website. You can see all about our sponsors, all about the show. You can even listen to live episodes while they're going on right there from the website. Another way to listen to the show live is go to Live 365. You can download that app and just search for The Morning Show. It's right there. Super easy. We want you to hit the like button and subscribe to this channel if you will. That way you can keep up with what's going on The Morning Show. Thank you. I hope you enjoy it.
Hey friend, it's great to have you tuned into The Morning Show today. Here on The Morning Show, you'll hear your favorite Southern gospel music and some of the classics you'll never forget. And now, the hostess of The Morning Show, Natalie Duncan-Emmons.
When you wake up to the storm and all you feel are the waves crashing against your boat, you wonder if anybody remembers you or the journey that you're on. When you feel discouraged from what you see on the news or the events going on around you, well, friend, cut it off. Don't look to the left or to the right, look up. And when everything inside of you is screaming to be afraid, to accept defeat, or to hand our enemy a victory, well, you need to sing. And then keep singing. Sing it some more. For we are God's people. And that's just what God's people do. Well, we sing.
You said sing from a laughing heart, just sing. When the night is darkest, sing. Let your joy explode and let music fill the air. And sing when there's nothing else to do, sing. When something deep inside of you tells you that life is still a wonder, just throw back your head and sing. You said sing from a laughing heart, just sing. When the night is darkest, sing. Let your joy explode and let music fill the air. And sing when there's nothing else to do, sing. When something deep inside of you tells you that life is still a wonder, just throw back your head and sing. When God created living things, He knew we'd need a way to share our fears, our questions, and our dreams. Oh, there were words, but words won't do when joy swells up inside. There simply had to be a better way. And you say sing from a laughing heart, just sing. When the night is darkest, sing. Let your joy explode and let music fill the air. You can sing when there's nothing else to do, sing. When something deep inside of you tells you that life is still a wonder, just throw back your head and sing. The birds God sent on flashing wings to fill the sky with song. Put music in the brook and crashing sea.
The wind blew through the threads of grass like fingers through the strings of golden harps that made the meadow sing.
Then he said sing from a laughing heart, just sing. When the night is darkest, sing. Let your joy explode and let music fill the air. You can sing when there's nothing else to do, sing. When something deep inside of you tells you that life is still a wonder, just throw back your head and sing.
The psalmist said, "Make a joyful noise unto the Lord, all ye lands. Serve the Lord with gladness. Come before his presence with singing. Know ye that the Lord, he is God. It is he that hath made us, and not we ourselves. We are his people and the sheep of his pasture. Enter into his gates with thanksgiving, and into his courts with praise. Be thankful unto him, and bless his name. For the Lord is good, his mercy is everlasting, and his truth endureth to all generations."
Then he said sing from a laughing heart, just sing. When the night is darkest, sing. Let your joy explode and let music fill the air.
You can sing
When there's nothing else to do, sing. When something deep inside of you
treasures in that home above. Trusting, fully trusting in my Savior's love. Doing what I can for heaven's holy dove. I'm getting ready to leave this world. I'm getting ready to leave this world of sorrow. I'm getting ready for the gates of pearl. Keeping my record bright, watching both day and night. I'm getting ready to leave this world. To prepare a mansion, Jesus said I'll go. If it were not true, I would have told you so. Just a little while to linger here below. I'm getting ready to leave this world. I'm getting ready to leave this world of sorrow. I'm getting ready for the gates of pearl. Keeping my record bright, watching both day and night. I'm getting ready to leave this world. Keeping my record bright, watching both day and night. I'm getting ready, I'm getting ready, I'm getting ready to leave this world.
My name is Natalie Duncan-Emmons. You are listening to The Morning Show. Proverbs 14:26 says, "In the fear of the Lord there is strong confidence." What gives you confidence? Is it your job? Is it your home? Is it your income? Is it your education? Well, the Bible says, key to confidence is Christ. Dr. David Jeremiah says, "The Savior who was with us at the beginning is the same God who will be with us till the end. He is our Alpha and Omega, and everything that happens to us from birth to death is in His hands." So don't let the confusion of the world distress you. You can live in joyful confidence because of Christ. So stand a little bit taller today. Go into your agenda confident of His care, of His keeping, and in His love for you. Glad you're listening to The Morning Show. No place else I'd rather be than right here with you. Here's the Liberty Quartet.
There's nothing that could ever keep me quiet about the day that I was born again. My heart is full, my cup is running over, and it's sweeter now to me than it has ever been. Oh, I just can't help but tell it when I think about God's grace, how He saved me from a life of sin and shame. I want the world to know I thank the Lord and give Him praise. He's my Father and He knows His child by name. Oh, He brought me out of bondage, praise the Lord. He broke the chains, granted pardon then and there, and set me free. I want to shout it out and sing about it everywhere I go. Just can't help but tell what Jesus did for me. The power of His marvelous salvation has changed my life and made me heaven bound. So I will never let my voice be silent. I've got good news everybody needs to hear about. Oh, I just can't help but tell it when I think about God's grace, how He saved me from a life of sin and shame. I want the world to know I thank the Lord and give Him praise. He's my Father and He knows His child by name. Oh, He brought me out of bondage, praise the Lord. He broke the chains, granted pardon then and there, and set me free. I want to shout it out and sing about it everywhere I go. Just can't help but tell what Jesus did for me. I just can't help but tell it when I think about God's grace, how He saved me from a life of sin and shame. Sin and shame. I want the world to know I thank the He's my father, and he knows his child by name. Oh, he brought me out of bondage, praise the Lord. He broke the chains, granted pardon then and there, and set me free. I want to shout it out and sing about it everywhere I go. Just can't help but tell what Jesus did for me. I want to shout it out and sing about it everywhere I go. Everywhere just I go. Just tell what Jesus did for me.
To the saint and the sinner, the losers and winners, sometimes the rain's gonna fall on the bad and the good and the misunderstood. Storms will come to us all. Well, I found the answer from heartache to cancer. I thank him in spite of the pain. 'Cause when I start praising, things begin changing by learning to dance in the rain. I'm learning to smile when I feel like crying, to live every day as if I were dying. I'm learning the lesson of praising God through the pain. I'm learning to stand when my heart is breaking, to hold to the cross when my hands are shaking. Lord, through it all, I'm learning to dance in the rain. When the clouds start to gather, bringing bad weather, there's no silver lining inside. When your prayers have been prayed and the answer's delayed, and you're holding on for dear life. Whether you walk on water or if you falter, he'll be there when you call his name. And you'll get the victory, and you'll solve the mystery by learning to dance in the rain. I'm learning to smile when I feel like crying, to live every day as if I were dying. I'm learning the lesson of praising God through the pain. I'm learning to stand when my heart is breaking, to hold to the cross when my hands are shaking. Lord, through it all, I'm learning to dance in the rain. To dance in the rain. I'm learning to stand when my heart is breaking, to hold to the cross when my hands are shaking. Lord, through it all, I'm learning to dance in the rain. Lord, through it all, I'm learning to dance in the rain.
All right, this is my last chance to remind you about the Collinsworths going to be in Hattiesburg tomorrow night at the Oak Grove Performing Arts Center. I have 3 tickets to the Artist Circle. Joey Tate and I plan on going tomorrow night. We're excited about it. It will start at 7 o'clock. If you have the opportunity to go, you sure don't want to miss this. Like, the Collinsworth family has one of the best Christmas tours in all of gospel music, probably in all of music period, I would dare say, from what I've heard. And I'm excited about going to experience the Collinsworths at Christmas. So hope you can come meet us out in Hattiesburg tomorrow night at the Oak Grove High School Performing Arts Center. It's going to be a good crowd over there. I spoke to one of the promoters yesterday, and they've sold almost 900 tickets. That's a lot of tickets. And then a week from Sunday, here in Lake, Mississippi, on that Sunday morning at 11 o'clock, Salem Baptist Church will have Scotty Inman. That's going to serve as our pastor appreciation service that morning at Salem. So you just come on out to Salem that Sunday morning. You can hear Scotty Inman. We'll have a really good time. Scotty's a dear friend of the morning show, so don't miss Scotty. He's also one of the greatest. He's also one of the best singers that we have in gospel music. So we're excited about that. Hope you can be with Scotty. My sister, Nicole Smith, she will be here on the show second hour. She'll be here right after 7 o'clock. Don't miss Nicole. That'll be a whole lot of fun. So we just got a lot of things going on. Just a whole lot to think about. It's almost too much sometimes. But it's going to be good.
Thank you for your goodness. Thank you for your kindness. Thank you for all the things you do. Jesus, thank you. Jesus, I can hardly count the times your grace has pulled me out. Sin and shame had left me bound. I once was lost, but now I'm found. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Thank you for your goodness. Thank you for your kindness. Thank you for all the things you do. Jesus, thank you. Thank you for the blessings. Thank you for a million little things. Thank you for the ways that you come through. Jesus, thank you. Looking back, all I can see is a history of miracles. I know if you're here with me, then nothing is impossible. Thank you for your goodness. Thank you for your kindness. Thank you for all the things you do. Jesus, thank you. Thank you for the blessings. Thank you for a million little things. Thank you for the ways that you come through. Jesus, thank you. Jesus, thank you. Jesus, thank you. Jesus, thank you. Thank you. I can't say it enough. I can't say it enough. I can't say it enough. I can't thank you enough. I can't thank you enough. I can't thank you enough. No, I can't thank you enough. I can't thank you enough. I can't thank you enough. Thank you for your goodness. Thank you for your kindness. Thank you for all the things you do. Jesus, thank you. Thank you for the blessings. Thank you for a million little things. Thank you for the ways that you come through. Jesus, thank you. Jesus, thank you. Jesus, thank you. Jesus, thank you.
Was 30 pieces worth it? When the truth is, I might have sold him out for less. Can you see the way it hurt him? But it could have been me who hid behind that kiss of death. If I'm the judge of Judas, then woe is me. Turns out the only difference is that I believe. If he could love a traitor, a liar and a faker, if he could break the bread and share the wine, if the humble-hearted Savior could wash the feet of his betrayer, then surely he could love a heart like mine. What amazing mercy, how extravagant this overwhelming reach of grace. Though we are undeserving, he'll still meet the worst of sinners in their darkest place. And all I know to say is thank you, Jesus. And all I know to sing is hallelujah. If he could love a traitor, a liar and a faker, if he could break the bread and share the wine, if the humble-hearted Savior could wash the feet of his betrayer, then surely he could love a heart like mine. Oh, he can love a heart like mine. So no matter who you are, no matter what you've done, just take it from me, it'll never be bigger than his great love. If he could love a traitor, a liar and a faker, if he could break the bread and share the wine, if the humble-hearted Savior could wash the feet of his betrayer, then surely he could love a heart like mine. I know that surely he can love a heart like mine. I know he can. I know he can love a heart like mine.
Hey everybody, this is Joseph Habedank, and you are listening to The Morning Show with Natalie.
Well, I want to talk to you about the good folks over at Hometown Roots in Sebastopol, Mississippi. I told you about all of the new products that they have in just in time for Christmas. Want to cover a few of those today. Now, a couple of these I have not used myself, but I'm looking at them and they just look so pretty. The packaging, everything about them are just beautiful, so they've got to be fantastic, right? First of all, the Sponge Gel Sponges. These are body washed infused buffers. They're just beautiful. They're little sponges that you can use, that you bathe with, you clean with, and they're all different flavors, different scents. Winter rose, champagne, peppermint, sugar plum, it just goes on and on. They look like they would make fantastic gifts, which I'd probably keep them all. But anyway, they would make precious little gifts. Ornaments, lots and lots of amazing ornaments for your tree. I'm not even a big ornament person, but these are fantastic. You've got to see these. They are absolutely precious, and they have a $5 pillow sale going on right now. They're the decorative pillows. That would make a fantastic gift. You can get them for $5. You need to head over to Hometown Roots immediately before all of this is gone, before it's too late. Go Christmas shopping right now and tell them we sent you from the morning show. Hometown Roots, that's just the place to be.
was John the Baptist, came preaching the coming of Christ. But he was thrown way down in jail for condemning the king and his wife. The king came down and talked to John, saying, John, you can go free. Just take back all the things you said concerning the queen and me. John knew the man he was preaching about. John knew there was not even a doubt. The lame did walk, the blind did see, the lepers were healed of their spots. John surely knew the man he was preaching about. John sent two of his disciples to Jesus and told him to say, are you the one who is to come, or should we seek another way? And when they saw the miracles, they knew without a doubt. They came back to report to John, that's the man you're preaching about. John knew the man he was preaching about. John knew there was not even a doubt. The lame did walk, the blind did see, the lepers were healed of their spots. John surely knew the man he was preaching about. John knew the man he was preaching about. John knew there was not even a doubt. The lame did walk, the blind did see, the lepers were healed of their spots. John surely knew the man he was preaching about. John surely knew the man he was preaching about.
Rusty Goodman wrote this song, and Michael brought it to us when he came. He loved Rusty. We all love Rusty.
Home is where the heart is. My heart's own home. Though I never really had one to call my own. I've been given a key by the carpenter of Galilee, with interest paid, the title's made to me. Home where there is no night, home where the sun is alive, the place I've been dreaming of so long. Loved ones there to welcome me, but his sweet face will be the first I'll see. When my journey's over, I am going home. Everybody dreams of going home, it seems. Lately I am no exception to the rule. But home is so much more than windows, walls, and doors. It's a warm embrace and smiling faces waiting you. Home where there is no
journey's over, I am going home. And when my journey's over, I am going home.
Music, ministry, and more. It's The Morning Show with Natalie Duncan-Emmons.
You're listening to The Morning Show. And now, with your patriotic point of view, here's Larry Gressett.
Gold was discovered in 1848, launching the California Gold Rush. California became the 31st state to join the Union in 1850 and is nicknamed the Golden State. It is the most populous, the third biggest, and has the largest economy of any state in the U.S. In 1873, Levi Strauss introduced denim jeans to California miners and cowboys. The very first motion picture theater was opened in Los Angeles on April 2, 1902. California houses the biggest film industry in the world. Yes, you know it as Hollywood, with more movies filmed there than any other state. Only found in California, the giant sequoia is arguably the world's largest and most massive tree with an estimated lifespan of 1,800 to 2,700 years. Not to be outdone, the redwood tree is the world's tallest and only grows in California. Death Valley is North America's hottest desert, with a record temperature in July of 1913 of 134.1 degrees, still holding the record for the hottest place on Earth, and it is one of the driest in the country. California produces 80% of the world's almonds and is the top producer of the nation's lemons, apricots, avocados, dates, figs, grapes, kiwi, and more, making Central Valley the single most productive region and one of the most productive in the world. Interestingly, more turkeys are raised in California than any other state in the U.S. And the first McDonald's restaurant featuring the Golden Arches was opened in San Bernardino in 1940. Truly an American icon. I'm Larry Gressett with your patriotic point of view.
The Patriotic Point of View was brought to you by Joe McGee Construction. Joe McGee Construction believes family is one of God's greatest gifts. Family owned and operated for the past 33 years, Joe McGee Construction is the proud employer of some of Mississippi's best tradesmen. Together, we are supporting our communities and working hard to ensure that every commute to work and every ride to school brings us safely home to our loved ones. Valuing faith, family, and the Magnolia State, Joe McGee Construction is building safer roads for a better Mississippi. Joe McGee is my friend, and I thank him for helping us bring you the best mix of Southern gospel music, along with your patriotic point of view here on The Morning Show.
Shout out your praise. We shout out your praise.
We sing to the God who heals. We sing to the God who saves. We sing to the God who always makes a way. He hung up on the cross. He rose up from the grave. My God, still rolling stones away.
forgiven, accepted, redeemed by His grace. Let the house of the Lord sing praise. We were the beggars, now we're royalty. We were the prisoners, now we're running free. We are forgiven, accepted, redeemed by His grace. Let the house of the Lord sing praise. There's joy in the house of the Lord. There's joy in the house of the Lord today. And we won't be quiet. We shout out your praise. There's joy in the house of the Lord. Our God is surely in this place. And we won't be quiet. We shout out your praise. There's joy in the house of the Lord. There's joy in the house of the Lord today. And we won't be quiet. We shout out your praise. There's joy in the house of the Lord. Our God is surely in this place. And we won't be quiet. We shout out your praise. We shout out your praise. We shout out your praise. We shout out your praise.
Days are filled with sorrow and care. Hearts are lonely and drear, but burdens are lifted at Calvary. Jesus is very near.
Cast your cares on Jesus today. Leave your worry and fears. Burdens are lifted at Calvary. Jesus is very near. Burdens are lifted at Calvary. 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 Burdens are lifted at Calvary. Jesus is very near. Troubled soul, the Savior can feel every heartache and fear. But burdens are lifted at Calvary. Jesus is very near. are lifted at Calvary. Jesus is very near. Jesus is very near. Jesus is very near.
Well, I want to talk to you about something that you need to know about, and it's Lang's Locksmith from right here in Lake, Mississippi. It's our friend, Brother Kenny Lang. Hey, for all of your residential, commercial, or even church facilities, Lang's Locksmith can cover any locksmith need that you had. Master keying, rekeying, lock replacement, padlocks keyed to your existing home business or church key, or the master brand padlocks keyed to your existing master padlock key. Hey, they can take care of all of that. Or if you're just locked out of your home or your automobile or your business, and I have done all three more than one time, well, Lang's Locksmith is exactly who you need to call. Look, I have found myself sitting there time after time after time, locked myself out of something, my car, my house. I've done it all. I've had to call Brother Kenny myself so many times. But you know what? If there's anybody you can depend on to come help you, it is Kenny Lang, Lang's Locksmith. They'll do it. They'll do it every time. I know from experience. So you need to memorize this number right here, 601-906-7764. 601-906-7764. Go ahead and put that number in your phone, write it down somewhere, because you never know when you're going to need it. So call Brother Kenny Lang at Lang's Locksmith. They'll help you every time.
I love it when the doors of the church swing open and all of God's people come pouring inside. I love the sound of a hallelujah when the saints get together and the song starts to rise. Let the sound of heaven fill this place. Let the rocks keep silent one more day. Anybody got a reason to praise him? Anybody got a heart that's changed and made alive? Come on, testify, testify. Anybody gonna lift up his name? Anybody here unashamed of Jesus Christ? Come on, testify, testify. I wanna hear somebody give him glory and tell me the miracle story of all he's done in you. And tell me how you seen him move a mountain. Tell me about the fire and how we brought you through. Anybody got a reason to praise him? Anybody got a heart that's changed and made alive? Come on, testify, testify. Anybody gonna lift up his name? Anybody here unashamed of Jesus Christ? Come on, testify, testify. Let the redeemed say how we found you lost and paid the highest cost by dying on a cross. Testify, come on and testify. Let the redeemed say how they have been saved by his amazing grace that came and made a way. Testify, come on and testify. Anybody got a reason to praise him? Anybody got a heart that's changed and made alive? Come on, testify.
testify.
My name is Natalie Duncan-Emmons. You're listening to The Morning Show. Here on The Morning Show, we're looking for the very best mix of gospel music, predominantly Southern gospel with a little bit of bluegrass, a little bit of Christian country, contemporary, and inspirational. The mixture of different styles and genres here on The Morning Show is a musical picture of the diversity of the bride of Christ. Though every style is different, the message we play is the same. The gospel of Jesus Christ and salvation through him alone. For worthy is the Lamb who was slain. My name's Natalie Duncan-Emmons. Glad you're listening to The Morning Show.
Like a seedling in the clay, when the sun's first golden ray marks the breaking of the day, I am turning to the light. I am turning to the light. I am reaching toward the sun. I have journeyed through the night, and the battle now is won. There's a new song in my heart. There's a new day dawning bright. Oh, I'm turning to the light. Not so very long ago, I lay covered by the snow, with no sign of spring in sight. Now I'm turning to the light. I am turning to the light. I am reaching toward the sun. I have journeyed through the night, and the battle now is won. There's a new song in my heart. There's a new day dawning bright. Oh, I'm turning to the light. Like a robin in the spring, when the dew is glistening, I will raise my voice and sing. I am turning to the light. I am turning to the light. I am reaching toward the sun. I have journeyed through the night, and the battle now is won. There's a new song in my heart. There's a new day dawning bright. Oh, I'm turning to the light. I am turning to the light. I am reaching toward the sun. I have journeyed through the night, and the battle now is won. There's a new song in my heart. There's a new day dawning bright. Oh, I'm turning to the light. Oh, I'm turning to the light.
I'm throwing this out there for those who are traveling next week for the Thanksgiving holiday. I did hear on the news, and I don't watch a whole lot of news, that's intentional, but I did hear on the Weather Channel yesterday that they are predicting and anticipating the third busiest travel holiday this Thanksgiving since they have been making records about travel on holidays. So even though gas prices are through the roof, that is not stopping anyone, apparently, because they are predicting it to be crazy. They say don't leave on Wednesday afternoon, whatever you do, to travel to your destination. You're going to sit in traffic. Thanksgiving's on Thursday. They say leave early Wednesday morning, or just wait till Thanksgiving Day and travel and get to your destination by that afternoon. It'll just save you from sitting in traffic a whole lot. And that makes you ill and irritable for the holidays. So go into this holiday with preparation, anticipating a lot of traffic issues, because they're telling you right now that they're going to be. And I'll throw this out there: if you are going to be flying somewhere for the holidays, you know, everyone always thinks that the middle seat on the plane is the worst seat. As a matter of fact, only 1% of Americans prefer to book the middle seat on an airplane. But new studies show that the safest seat on that plane in case of an emergency is the middle seat. Yeah. Actually, to be most specific, the middle seat toward the back of the plane is the safest spot. So anyway, there's the most advice that we can give you for your holiday travel. I don't travel on Thanksgiving, so I don't know a lot about it. But don't leave on Wednesday afternoon like everybody else. And if you want a safe spot on the plane, get the middle seat and tough it out.
No one gave me hope for my future. I fell down more often than stood. I had nothing to count on that was sure, and not one thing within me was good, but mercy found where I was living at the end of a long street all alone, like a beacon in the night that came seeking in the midst of my darkness. The light just came on. There is hope now, and a life that was missing, and there's a love like I've never known. See, I found joy in this new world that I live in, and Jesus is my light that came on, and mercy found where I was living at the end of a long street all alone, like a beacon in the night that came seeking in the midst of my darkness. The light just came on. Ooh, like a beacon in the night that came seeking in the midst of my darkness. The light just came on. The light just came on.
Well, the Crabb family has a brand new song out. It's called Never Been. And Aaron Crabb says that the song reminds him of a special person in his family, his grandfather. Here's Aaron Crabb.
My grandfather built his own house out of cinder blocks, plywood walls, had the wood fireplace in the house, and he did a lot of the work with his hands on that piece of land and piece of property. He worked in the garden, planted soybean, just all of the things that he would do to provide for his family. Loved coffee. My grandfather loved coffee, but he loved to work, had a great work ethic.
There are tears when we come into this world, and there are tears when we say goodbye. But in my grieving, I remember the ones who leave aren't the ones who cry. There's a land you've always longed for, and hallelujah, you've arrived. I've never been,
more broken-hearted. You've never been more alive.
The morning show now has a YouTube channel. We want you to know about that, to check it out, and to utilize it. If you go to YouTube, you can simply search for The Morning Show, Natalie Duncan-Emmons. The channel pops right up. Super easy. We're asking that you subscribe to that so that you can stay in the loop with everything going on right here on The Morning Show. If you miss an episode, if you miss an interview, you can go back and you can listen to that at your convenience. We now have over 80 episodes up and running and over 60 interviews that you can go back and listen to whenever you would like to. The YouTube channel is being brought to you by 21 Machine and Fab, with 53 years of experience in metal machining and fabrication industries. Father and son team Larry and Alex Crimmed opened the doors of 21 Machine and Fab in 2018, affectionately referred to as Club 21. The building features state-of-the-art ISO panel construction and houses 15,000 square foot operations. The shop encompasses both fabrication and machining equipment as well as precision cutting water jet technology. They work primarily with stainless steel, aluminum black iron, and plastic to create both standard and custom solutions for your design challenges. 21 Machine and Fab on Highway 21 right out of Forest, Mississippi. We want you to reach out to Club 21 for all of your fabrication and machining needs. Thanks to Larry and Alex Crimmed for bringing you the Morning Show YouTube channel.
We're glad you're listening this morning to The Morning Show with Natalie Duncan-Emmons. Stay tuned. The best is yet to come.
You're listening to The Morning Show. And now it's time for your pastor's perspective, brought to you this morning by Brother Tal Vardaman of Line Creek Baptist Church, Morton, Mississippi.
I used to sing with a group called the Broken Vessels, and people would call us the varicose veins. My wife Cindy just always called us the crackpots. But Paul writes, we have this treasure in jars of clay to show that this all-surpassing power is from God and not from us. Just think about it. The light of the world, Jesus Christ, is in you if you've been saved. The hope of the world, the creator of the universe, the King of kings and the Lord of lords is in you. And Paul says it's in jars of clay, not jars of steel, not titanium-plated, armor-plated weapons of spiritual warfare, but in jars of clay, vessels that can be cracked and broken, and many times we are. Young people can't imagine a time when your body will begin to betray you, but if the Lord tarries, it's coming. It's coming. But Paul says that he has this treasure in jars of clay. And then Paul goes on to say, we are hard pressed on every side, but not crushed, perplexed, but not in despair, persecuted, but not abandoned, struck down, but not destroyed. Y'all, there's something in us, something in these broken vessels that no matter how long these problems go on, no matter how much we hurt, no matter what the doctor says, something rises up in us. No, someone rises up in us, and when we are not crushed and we are not in despair, and praise God, we know that we are not abandoned. This is Brother Tal Vardaman, and this has been your pastor's perspective.
The pastor's perspective was brought to you by Salem Baptist Church in Lake, Mississippi. Salem is my home church, and I'm thrilled that they've partnered with the morning show to help us bring you, well, not only the best music in the world, but encouragement and words of life straight from God's Word. Brother Larry Duncan and the entire congregation at Salem, they invite you to come and visit whenever you get the chance. We're located just a few miles off of I-20 coming through mid-Mississippi. So if you live in our area, if you're ever traveling through our area on a Sunday morning, Sunday night, Wednesday night, well, you stop off the lake exit and visit with us. Thank you to Salem Baptist Church for bringing you your pastor's perspective. All right, my sister Nicole Smith, she will be here next, right after Goodman Revival. Don't miss Nicole.
It was a song my mother sang in sweet and humble voice, like music from the world above. It made my soul rejoice. Its soothing words and the melody like the rippling of waters flow. But amazing grace, how sweet the sound is, the sweetest song I know. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound of the sweetest song, sweetest song. Song I know. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound of the sweetest song, sweetest song. It's like I've heard of the mountain, washes white as snow. Oh, how sweet the sound is, the sweetest song I know.
Well, we have anticipated all week having this guest right here. She's just become a staple feature on the morning show. And we're delighted this morning to have my sister, Nicole Smith. She's back at it again. She's back on the morning show. Nicole, welcome to the show.
Well, I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to be here with you. Looking forward to being with everybody this morning. We've had a good week. We've had a beautiful weather, crisp, cool. A lot of people don't like cold weather.
I don't like cold weather, Nicole.
Well, I don't like it to be bitter cold, but this crispness in the air, it's refreshing to me. I like that.
Well, I cut my heat on. If it gets down to 68 in my house, I about have to cut the heat on about 68. About as far as I can stand it. Well, Nicole, everybody wants an update. Tell us how you feel, how you're doing today. What's going on with you? Tell us how you are.
I'm still improving. Some days I just don't do as well as others, but we've had some good days this week. Matter of fact, I even put my Christmas tree up this week. So for me, that was huge to have the strength to do that. And I enjoyed decorating for Christmas and also it was fun for me.
Now, Nicole's health is really shaky and not in good shape. We've had some really iffy moments over the last few months. She has her Christmas tree up, and I do not. And I'm pretty healthy. I don't really have any excuses. Nicole, you beat me to the tree this year, but you usually do.
That may have something to do with it that I like to put it up. And that really isn't your thing.
No, I've never been a Christmas person at all, but I sure don't like to decorate. I can tolerate the music. I can tolerate a little music or, just some themes, but I sure don't like to decorate. So,
well, I think what we need to plan to do on one of my good days, then I need to come on here and help you put your tree up.
I think that's a delightful idea. Can we hold you to? Do we have something to sign? Is there any paper around here we can get that
I'll
right?
sign it, but we'll just have to play it day by day. But one day, if I feel good, wake up feeling pretty good, we'll throw that thing up.
Yeah. Well, it's no big deal for you to put up a Christmas tree. It's 2 or 3 day process for me. It's just y'all make it look easy, but it's really not.
Well, I think it's all in what you like to do. Everybody's thing is just not the same.
Well, Nicole, we've had you on today, and I thought what we would do, I mentioned yesterday we were just going to talk about some of our favorite songs, but I think I want to be a little bit more specific than that. And if we could do a short segment here on some of our favorite hymns, I think that would be very interesting and dear to our heart because we love hymns. We still sing traditional hymns at our church, at Salem Baptist Church. Not everybody does that anymore, but we do. We cling to those hymns. We love them. We treasure them. Nicole, tell me about some of your favorite hymns.
Oh, I love the hymns, and I think it's like you said, we still do that at our church, and that is a blessing. Daddy's always said there's some great theology in our hymn books. And I agree with that. And I think some of our great doctrines are grounded into the older songs of the church. And they're a blessing to me. I would hate to have to say what some of my favorite hymns are. I don't know. But one of the things that I can say is I love it when artists go back and they record hymns. And some of them have captured the connection of hymns. And let me tell you what I mean by that. They've gone from one hymn and into another one in their orchestration of their song. And a couple of those artists have popped out in my mind today as I thought about hymns. One of them is one Guy Penrod did. Now, first of all, I love Guy Penrod. I mean, such a tremendous singer. But he did too. And we've actually sang this song many times.
Yeah.
At our church and other places in revivals. He used Rock of Ages. And he sang Rock of Ages, but he tied his chorus into I Stand Amazed. And it's just beautiful. Yeah. And to me, the two messages, as he put them together into one song, boy, he nailed it.
Yeah. You talked about the theology of the hymns. Sometimes it's a little hard to grasp all of that theology just in singing the hymn and standing there saying, but it takes somebody like Guy who can deliver it and present it in such a way where you go, I get it, or it hits home. And that's what happened to me on Rock of Ages. I had played the song since I was 7 or 8 years old. I remember the first time I ever played it. When Guy sings this and I listen to the words of these verses, it's one of the deepest songs that we have in our hymnal.
You are so right. And when the Holy Spirit just takes it and through him just communicates that message, when you get it, it's just there. And you made a comment that some of the songs some of the theology in the hymns is deep and it's hard. I think that's why older people are so drawn to the hymns. And I don't want to say more drawn, but they are so drawn because the depth of the message of the hymn, the longer you walk with him, the more of life you experience with your Savior. Oh, wow. That's when you get really to the depth of that hymn and it becomes so real and it becomes so special. And that's why we can't lose them.
Well, I'm going to play it right now. And for those of you on the morning show who have never heard Nicole Smith sing this right here, well, Guy Penrod does an exceptional job, but you really ought to hear Nicole sing it because she really can sing it. All right, here it is by Guy Penrod, though. Rock of Ages, I Stand Amazed. This one is something. Here's Guy.
Rock of Ages, cleft for me. Let me hide myself in thee. Let the water and the blood from thy wounded side, which flowed, be of sin the double cure. Save from wrath and make me pure. Not the labor of my hand can fulfill thy law's demand. Could my zeal no languor know? Could my tears forever flow? All for sin could not atone. Thou must save, and thou alone. Oh, how marvelous, oh, how wonderful, and my song shall ever be. Oh, how marvelous, oh, how wonderful is my Savior's love for me. While I draw this fleeting breath, when mine eyes shall close in death, when I soar to worlds unknown, see thee on thy judgment throne. It's a rock of ages, cleft for me. Let me hide myself in thee, singing, oh, how marvelous, oh, how wonderful, and my song shall ever be. Oh, how marvelous, oh, how wonderful is my Savior's love. How marvelous, oh, how wonderful, and my song shall ever be. Oh, how marvelous, oh, how wonderful is my Savior's love for me. It's a rock of ages, cleft for me. I'm gonna hide myself in thee. Hey, it's a rock of ages, cleft for me.
That is awesome. If you ever get a glimpse of the reality of the Rock of Ages, you can only follow it up with, oh, how marvelous. Oh, how wonderful. Wow, that's good.
Yeah, that's mighty good. Nicole, I remember another song, an old hymn that we used to love. This goes way back to when we were kids. Well, it goes way back. But our memories of this goes back to when we were kids. We would go to our grandparents' church, that little bitty white church, Old White Plains, right outside of Sebastopol, Mississippi. Boy, it was a joy to get to go over to Old White Plains. We looked forward to it, didn't we?
Oh, we sure did. We grew up, our dad being a Southern Baptist preacher, we grew up singing out of the Baptist hymnal. But when you went to Momo and Pawpaw's church, they were Church of God, and they used the old redback hymnal. So this was a Church of God hymn that they sang all the time. Well, we didn't really sing it in the Baptist church. And I know the older I got, I was drawn to this song. I loved it. And anytime we were there, Uncle Harmon, we mentioned him so often, talking about music, but he would lead the music, and he'd always be sure we sang this song when we were there. He'd say, Nicole likes this one.
Yeah.
And they'd say, always sing this song when we went.
Well, it was a difference in the denominations. You know, we sang different styles. And so to us, when we would go, it was just another song to them. I don't think it was as big a deal. And we were just beside ourselves to get to sing Heaven's Jubilee and these other styles in that redback hymnal, because we didn't get to sing that style at our church, and we thought that was the grandest thing to sing that
it had a
conventional
little bit
style.
Conventional flavor, and it was. We like I said, the Baptist hymnal and the Church of God hymnal, they just had some of the same songs, but some different.
We kind of felt like we were showing out a little bit. Really stepping out with Heaven's Jubilee, yeah. Nicole, you remember this is something else they did that we thought was so cool. They'd get ready to start the service, and they'd call the choir up. The men would go to one side, and the women would go. Do you remember all that? The women would go to the other side.
Oh, yeah, and I always felt so grown. He said, standing up there by her on the women's side.
And you didn't have to go to a practice or anything. It wasn't like they had choir. It was just come on up. Everybody just come on up.
Oh, yeah, we grew up, and with that particular early years, Daddy was at East Morton Baptist Church, and the choir marched in. No, not in the Church of God denomination that we would go visit and be a part of as little girls. Everybody come on up to the choir.
You didn't need to plan too much.
No.
Not too much.
Grab your spot. Let's go.
I treasure that, Nicole. We have always, of course, when we sang through the years, you just went wherever you were invited to go. And we were able to go into any church, into any denomination, and worship. We just walked in. It really didn't matter what the name of that church was or who they were. You just walked in, you saw them as God's people, and you worshiped with them. And I think this goes way back to when we were little kids and we crossed those denomination lines in our family, and you'd go in and you'd worship with them. We didn't know any different. And we didn't know it was supposed to be any different. Or is it supposed to be any different?
Daddy always taught us, and I remember him saying it many, many times, if you can meet us at the foot of the cross, hey, then we can worship.
Yeah. Talking about what Daddy said, he also told one preacher one time. One preacher asked him, he said, "Now, how do these girls handle going in all these churches?" Daddy said, "Well, they can't read too good anyway. They don't know where we are." My name's Natalie Duncan-Emmons.
And I'm Nicole Smith.
And you're listening to
The Morning Show.
Sunday morning we shall see Jesus in the air, coming after you and me, joys ours to share. What rejoicing there will be when the saints shall rise, heading for that jubilee yonder in the skies. Oh, what singing, oh, what shouting on that happy morning when we all shall rise. Oh, what glory, hallelujah, when we meet our blessed Savior in the skies. Now I almost see all the saints today, rising for that jubilee that is just ahead. In the twinkling of an eye, changed with him to be, all the living saints to fly to that jubilee. Oh, what singing, oh, what shouting on that happy morning when we all shall rise. Oh, what glory, hallelujah, when we meet our blessed Savior in the skies.
Nicole, we're going to come back and talk about one more song, another hymn here. I think this is a medley of hymns as well. I know there's one artist, not necessarily a gospel artist, and it's kind of strange because growing up, we really did pretty much just listen to gospel music. That's really all we know. But there is a country artist that through the years has influenced you a lot, and I know you've connected with and always enjoyed this singer. Talk to me about her and tell me about this medley of hymns that you want to play today.
I had the chance one time to meet Reba McEntire in a very unusual situation, and following that, my kids gave me her gospel album, and it was a real blessing to me. The album was, of course, her vocals are phenomenal. But her interpretation and delivery of some of the gospel music that she sang and hymns that she grew up on was just over the top. And this summer has been a challenging, hard summer for me. Probably one of the hardest summers I've ever been through. But there was a song that she did. She went back and recorded 2 hymns that one of her producers put them together in a combination. And there's been many, many mornings that I would get up and get to my chair and get to my window and sit down and just pull it up and play this song. I had at my fingertips many, many gospel songs that I could have played, many hymns that I could have played. But this was the one that I went to. She sang in the garden and did beautiful on it. But when the guy was putting the music together for her, he got to a certain part in the song, and then he had her to go into another older song that says, peace, peace, wonderful peace, coming down from the Father above, sweep over my spirit forever, I pray, in fathomless billows of love. And in the midst of some of my hardest hours, and wherever you're at today, maybe in the midst of some of your hardest hours, if we could ever get by ourselves in the garden, and it doesn't have to be a literal garden, it's somewhere in our hearts and our spirits where we can just get to God and pour out our heart and our sorrow and our concern and our deepest agony. If we can ever get to the garden, we'll find some peace. She nailed that in this song. Somebody got a hold of something really good when they put the two together. Not only that, Reba brought the Isaacs in, and they sing with her on this song. They did the harmony, and they just, true to Isaac form, just blended gorgeous with her. And I'm telling you, it was something.
Well, the Isaacs make everybody sound better.
Oh, man. Doesn't matter who you put them with. They just melt like butter. And, boy, they did here. Listen, I hope the song blesses you, because I'm going to tell you something. It's ministered to my heart in some dry places. Here's Reba in the garden.
I come to the garden alone while the dew is still on the roses, and the voice I hear falling on my ear, the Son of God discloses, and he walks with me and he talks with me and he tells me I am his own, and the joy we share as we
from the Father above. Sweep over my spirit forever, I pray, and fathomless billows of love. He speaks and the sound of his voice is so sweet that the birds hush their singing, and the melody that he gave to me within my heart is ringing, and he walks with me and he talks with me, and he tells me I am his own, and the joy we share as we tarry there, none other has ever known. None other has ever known. Peace, wonderful peace. None other has ever known.
Well, Nicole, before you go, I want to ask you one more thing, because people just enjoy hearing your stories about some of the things that have happened through the years. And there's one now that we're still not quite over. We may not ever get over it. But if you could find it somewhere in your being to muster up the strength to tell us to tell us about it, I want to know about the time. I want to know about the time that you had all the kids in the vehicle, including my kids, Tally. I want to know about the time that you got hit by a train. Can you tell us or remember, did it unnerve you so bad you forgot the details, or do you remember?
It unnerved me, I can tell you that much. Tell you, I have the strangest things happen. I'm just, you never know. My life is just one adventure after another adventure. I was going to take the kids to art years ago. I don't even know how old they were. They was just little bitty things. They were out of car seats.
Tally was 6.
They was out of car seats, but they was little. And we were going to make a quick stop by the post office in the lake. And you got to cross a railroad track. Well, at that time at Lake, you didn't have them fancy bars. And I'm turned off of the road, headed toward the main highway, headed toward the post office. And I saw this man just fly across that track. And I said, now that man's foolish.
Foolish.
He didn't even stop to look. Of course, I was right there behind him, and I was not anticipating a train because this man just shot across. Well, I got to the stop sign and it just slowed down to stop, and I realized why he shot across. There was a train. I wasn't expecting a train, but had come to a stop. The only problem was, in not expecting a train, I'd pulled up a little farther than really I'd anticipated on. Little distracted by the daredevil. Oh, Evil Knievel that had shot out ahead of me.
It's all his fault.
And I realized, dear Lord, help us. There's a train. And I look and I think, now my bumper's up a little higher than it should be. And it's like in a movie. You watch a movie and you see a woman on a movie and it's a bad scene and you just want to go, just back your truck up. Back up. And they can't because you froze. And I'm just thinking, dear God, help me, God. And I got my hand on my gear stick and I was trying, and I got it in, and I remember I got it in reverse. And see, a train will fool you.
Every time.
It's an illusion. You're looking at the train at the front of the train. And it looks like it's just kind of coming along. But if you get to the side of the train, the thing's just flying. And it'll be there before you know it is there. A train will. Well, fortunately, by the mercy of God, somehow or another, in my frozen stance, I got the gear shift. I got it on the R, so it was in reverse. But before I could ever do anything with my feet to hit a gas or let go of the brake, wow, the train was there.
And that's what it sounded like.
It did. Well, what it did was the edge of the train, not the front of the train, but the edge of the train caught my bumper.
Hit you. It hit you. The train hit you.
Well, that's another way of putting it. And what it did was when it hit me, thank God, and the angels above had helped me get that thing in R. Because when I had it in the R, meaning reverse, when it hit me, it just like it shoved me backwards, and I just kind of coasted.
Yeah, because you were in reverse.
Hit us so hard, it caused all the airbags to bust out, shattered the window, but we backed forward. See, if it had been in park, it would have grabbed my bumper, and it just took us with him.
Yeah,
Oh, it had been death. It is no. Well, so anyway, we rolled backwards just a little piece, and of course, all three of the kids was in there, yours and my two little boys, and I'm just, we're all just frozen like just statues. And then I looked at them, are y'all okay? Everybody's fine. Now, one of them had a little shattered glass in its head. There was a lot of shattered glass, but that was from the impact in the airbags. And we just stood there a second because the first thing I thought about was in the movie, now the car will blow up. Because that's the next thing after a train hits you, your car blows up. So I just calmly tried to stay calm and got them. I said, everybody unbuckle your seatbelts.
So you did have your seatbelts on.
Everybody was buckled to a T. Jason had just helped me get everybody in and got so everybody knew everybody was buckled. So we unbuckled everybody, all three of the kids, and me and the three kids got out and backed up on the side of the room, just standing there, just shaking like leaves, you know. Once that engineer finally got his train to stop, because that's a process.
Yeah, they don't just stop.
Them things, it takes time. Here come running up the side of the road the little engineer to where I was, the little train engineer, and he was just so out of breath. And he said, all I could see, ma'am, here I come. And me and this other man were driving the train, and he said, all I can see is here's a car and it's full of kids, you know. And, of course, he was all to pieces. Of course, I was all to pieces. You know what? Come to find out later, one of the men who was driving the train, it was his last day. And he had just left Forrest and had told somebody how proud he was. It was his last day on the job. He was retiring, and he was going to be able to retire without any accidents. And then along come me.
Until you pulled up too close.
And I pulled up too close. Blank.
You ruined that man's retirement record.
I ruined his day and his record. But God was good. God was good, and we thank him, because I'm going to tell you what, I'm not supposed to be here over that.
But you got it. The Lord helped you get it in reverse.
Rock of Ages. I can thank him one more time. I can write a book over the blessings and the mercies and the grace from the Rock of Ages.
Nicole, thank you for being on the morning show.
Well, I'm going to come back again sometime.
Yeah, you watch out for all the trains.
Y'all watch them trains. They're going faster than you realize.
It's a deception.
It's an illusion.
My name's Natalie Duncan-Emmons.
And I'm Nicole Smith.
And you're listening to
The Morning Show.
There's a long black train coming down the line, feeding off the souls that are lost and crying. Rails of sin, only evil remains. Watch out, brother, for that long black train. Look to the heavens, you can look to the skies. You can find redemption staring back into your eyes. There is protection and there's peace the same. Burn in your ticket for that long black train. 'Cause there's victory in the Lord, I say. Victory in the Lord. Cling to the Father and His holy name, and don't go
But you know there's victory in the Lord, I say. Victory in the Lord. Cling to the Father and His holy name, and don't go riding on that long black train. From a mile away, it sounds so good, but I must stay away. That train is a beauty, making everybody stare, but its only destination is the middle of nowhere. But you know there's victory in the Lord, I say. Victory. Out, brother, for that long black train. That devil's driving that long black train.
My name's Natalie Duncan-Emmons.
And I'm Nicole Smith.
And you're listening to
The Morning Show.
I hope everybody's having a wonderful morning listening to Natalie on The Morning Show. Just a really quick update, guys. I want to let everybody know that we've got the food trailer going in the parking lot of the restaurant. We're open Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, regular hours, regular phone number. If you want to place a to-go order, we'll be glad to take it. We are building a new building about a quarter of a mile down the road. Sometime early next year, hope to be open. Best of luck to everybody. God bless, and thank you for your support. Have a great day.
All right, you heard it right there from Artie Reed. Lee's Steakhouse is open tonight for takeout only. 601-625-7379. 601-625-7379. That's the number to order at Lee's Steakhouse. We're encouraging you to do that. Let's reach out and help support Artie Reed and all the good folks at Lee's Steakhouse. Well, I just happen to have a fantastic idea for a Christmas present. It'll be unusual, it'll be different, and I guarantee you've probably never given it before. What about the gift of a photograph? Yeah, not just one of yourself. You could give a gift certificate to Kara Smith Photography, to your family, to your friends, for them to go get their pictures made. I think that's a fantastic idea. We're asking you to support Kara Smith Photography because they help to bring you the morning show every single day, and they sponsor that really cool co-hosting with kids segment that everyone is crazy about. So reach out to Kara Smith, 601-616-1629. That's 601-616-1629, or you can look her up on the Facebook. It's Kara Smith Photography. You can send her a message. Tell her you would like a gift certificate to give someone else the gift of a photograph. What do you think? I think it'd be cool. Kara Smith Photography, 601-616-1629.
Soon we'll come to the end of life's journey, and perhaps we'll never meet anymore till we gather
say that we shall meet by the river, where no storm clouds ever darken the sky. And they say that we'll be happy in heaven, in the wonderful sweet by and by. If we never meet again this side of heaven, as we struggle through this world and this strife, there's another meeting place somewhere in heaven, by the side of the river of life, where the charming roses bloom forever, and where separations come no more. If we never meet again this side of heaven, I will meet you on that beautiful shore. I will meet you. I will meet you on that beautiful shore.
Well, let's talk a minute about MyPillow.com, all the products that Mike Lindell and the Patriots from MyPillow have to offer. You already know about the incredible pillows. Everybody knows about the MyPillow pillows. We've talked an awful lot about those luxury Giza sheets. Did you know they also have flannel sheets for the wintertime? If you're like me and you stay cold, I don't like to be cold. I stay cold, especially at night. I don't like to be cold. So if that's an issue for you, you might want to get some of these flannel sheets. That would help keep you warm. You've got the mattress toppers. That would be an exquisite gift. We've also talked about the slippers. Everybody needs a pair of these slippers. We fight over them at my house. If Joey leaves his slippers laying out, Tater or I one are going to have them on our feet. So he has to kind of keep them guarded. You got the towels. That's a perfect gift for anybody, for any occasion. Don't forget about the My Children's pillows and blankets. That's great gifts for kids. And then they've got all kind of clothing wear. They've got pajamas. They've got lounging wear. They've got something for everybody on your list. I guarantee you that. If you've been wanting to support the morning show but didn't know how, this is a terrific way. Go out to MyPillow.com, use the promo code Natalie, Natalie, and do your Christmas shopping right there on MyPillow.com. You're supporting Mike Lindell, you're supporting the morning show, and you're getting some incredible products. MyPillow.com.
And I'm holding to his hand. I'm walking on with Jesus in a dark and sinful land. And though the battle rages up ahead that I can see, I won't look back to the left or right, 'cause I know he walks with me. Well, I'm walking on with Jesus, and I know he'll guide my way. I'm walking on with Jesus till I reach that brighter day. And though my feet grow weary and I stumble in the road, he'll pick me up and dust me off and help me bear my load. Walking on with Jesus and I'm holding to his hand. I'm walking on with Jesus in a dark and sinful land. And though the battle rages up ahead that I can see, I won't look back to the left or right, 'cause I know he walks with me. One day while
why Jesus walked the shores of Galilee. There were 2 men a-fishing, casting nets into the sea, not knowing in a moment what a change that there would be. But they left those nets when Jesus said, "Will you follow me?" And they went walking on with Jesus. They were holding to his hand. I'm walking on with Jesus in a dark and sinful land. And though the battle rages up ahead that I can see, I won't look back to the left or right, 'cause I know he walks with me. Walking on, and I know he'll guide my way. Walking on, till I reach that brighter day. Walking on, there's no turning back for me. Walking on.
One day I'm gonna walk that holy highway built for me. It goes right through the desert, friend, that's all right to see. 'Cause it'll be blooming like the rose where the water's running free. And the blind will see, the deaf will hear, and the lame will walk with me. And we'll go walking on to Zion, where our sorrows have to flee. We'll walk right into glory, where our Jesus we will see. And when we meet the Father, think how happy we will be. When Jesus says, "That's my child, he has followed me."
That's why I'm walking on with Jesus, and I'm holding to his hand. I'm walking on with Jesus in a dark and sinful land. And though the battle rages up ahead that I can see, I won't look back to the left or right, 'cause I know he walks with me. Yes, I'm walking on with Jesus, and I'm holding to his hand. I'm walking on with Jesus in a dark and sinful land. And though the battle rages up ahead that I can see, I won't look back to the left or right, 'cause I know he walks with me. Walking on.
What a wonderful time we'll have up in glory. What a happy reunion in heaven 'twill be.
Well, so often down here we have a reunion. Our friends and our loved ones, they gather around. Some faces are missed, they've gone on to heaven. They'll be in that number when the great trumpet sounds.
What a wonderful time we'll have up in glory. With the blessed Redeemer forever we'll be. And the crown he will give on the great judgment morning. What a happy reunion in heaven 'twill be.
No grapes on the door in that beautiful city. No sorrow or pain will we ever know there. And a body will hug in the Savior's own likeness. And a mansion he said he would go to prepare.
What a wonderful time we'll have up in glory. With the blessed Redeemer forever we'll be. And the crown he will give on the great judgment morning. What a happy reunion in heaven 'twill be. What a happy reunion in heaven 'twill be.
Well, that not only wraps up another day for us here on The Morning Show, but another entire week.
Morning Show with Natalie Duncan-Emmons. We're glad you joined us. We want to invite you back tomorrow when once again you'll hear some of the very best in gospel music and some of the finest in Christian entertainment. Will you join us tomorrow? Is it a date? We'll look for you then. God bless and goodbye, everybody. Hey, friend, it's great to have you tuned into The Morning Show today. Here on The Morning Show, you'll hear your favorite Southern gospel music and some of the classics you'll never forget. And now, the hostess of the morning show, Natalie Duncan-Emmons.
When you wake up to the storm and all you feel are the waves crashing against your boat, you wonder if anybody remembers you or the journey that you're on. When you feel discouraged from what you see on the news or the events going on around you, well, friend, cut it off. Don't look to the left or to the right. Look up. And when everything inside of you is screaming to be afraid, to accept defeat, or to hand our enemy a victory, well, you need to sing. And then keep singing. Sing it some more. For we are God's people. And that's just what God's people do. Well, we sing.
He said sing from a laughing heart, just sing. When the night is darkest, sing. Let your joy explode and let music fill the air. And sing when there's nothing else to do, sing. When something deep inside of you tells you that life is still a wonder, just throw back your head and sing. He said sing from a laughing heart, just sing. When the night is darkest, sing. Let your joy explode and let music fill the air. And sing when there's nothing else to do, sing. When something deep inside of you tells you that life is still a wonder, just throw back your head and sing.
When God created living things, He knew we'd need a way to share our fears, our questions, and our dreams. Oh, there were words, but words won't do when joy swells up inside. There simply had to be a better way.
He said sing from a laughing heart, just sing. When the night is darkest, sing. Let your joy explode and let music fill the air. And sing when there's nothing else to do, sing. When something deep inside of you tells you that life is still a wonder, just throw back your head and sing.
The birds God sent on flashing wings to fill the sky with song. Put music